Hi! Welcome back to We Watch the Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay, and we're reviewing Amityville Horror, the remake. Ryan Reynolds, Melissa George.
Hit Girl.
Hit Girl. Chloe Grace Moretz. And she was probably the best actor in this movie. I don't know.
I mean, it was alright. The movie's not that bad. I mean, the acting's touch and go. But anyway, this movie's crazy because it's got Van Waller, he's got Ryan Reynolds in it. I mean, yeah, we talked about this before, just before we got on camera. I mean, maybe it wasn't a successful movie, Van Waller, as far as the mass media goes. Like, everybody kind of dogged it. But as far as our age group goes, everybody fucking loved it.
Yeah, it's cult
It was a
hit
hit.
once
Yeah,
it went to
everybody
DVD.
loved it. So anyway, this guy got selected as the friggin' main guy he's George Lutz in the Amityville Horror. So everybody was like, no. He's not gonna
Yeah, it's like we were Ryan Reynolds in a horror movie. He's a funny man.
Yeah, he's like, you have a bearded face with washboard abs and an accent. You're actually pretty fucking good, Ryan.
Hey, look, so you said it when you were talking about it the other day. He looks like a fucking superhero.
He
like,
does.
nobody just looks like that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's people who are fit, but...
There were some people who said that. I've read some, like, he's like, nobody really could believe that he was this lumberjack guy that has superhuman physique. And he's like, you're not going to get that by chopping wood for 20 minutes. Because everybody would do it. He's like, those abs are amazing. How did you do it? 20 minutes chopping wood. That's the secret.
He's a beautiful man.
Fuck you, Jenny Craig.
He's a
I
beautiful
know.
man. I used to look like that before we started doing these videos. It's not a big deal.
Well, anyway, so as far as the differences and the similarities between the Amityville remake and this one, they both have the Amityville name. That's about the similarity of where it ends. I mean, this movie is entirely a different take on it. I mean, 100%. They had a script to go by, I'm sure. They had the source material with the book, and then at some point the director probably said, fuck it.
Yeah.
I just watched The Shining the other night, and that's where we're going. Get an axe.
Yeah, well then that's the thing. Like, I don't think that the guy who made this I don't think they knew how to make a scary movie.
Yeah.
But they've got a decent cast, and they've got this story to go off of, and they got Michael Bay's money from Platinum Dunes, which he loves to do this.
Platinum
I don't know why,
Gold.
it's weird, yeah. But he's like, I'm gonna buy these and let somebody else direct them, but I'm scared to do it myself.
Michael Bay just wanted to transform in there somewhere. He's like, can we just have, like, maybe when they're driving, the fucking thing turns into a yellow
They
jacket?
could have done that if they recreated the scene where that big wolf thing's in the bedroom for the first one, but
Yeah.
with the eyes. But no, Ryan Reynolds is awesome in this movie. I think. I mean, there's certain parts where it doesn't fit, but it's one of my favorite Ryan Reynolds movies to watch. And granted, this is not a good movie. It's not. It's like they didn't know how to make a scary movie.
Well,
they made a decent movie, but it's not scary by any means.
Well, yeah, my biggest complaint for the original one, which I loved the original one, it was a good movie, but I said I wish they had shown more and they had done a little bit more, like, it was creepy and shit, and I like that, but it almost like, it left you down, like, you're like, oh, something's gonna happen, and the door will creak on you, you're like, get out, and you're like, oh my god, where's the demon at? It's not there, it's not there. But then this one shows you everything, but it takes away the creepy element. It just shows you shit all the time, and you're like, well, it's not even scary. The only part that got me, it didn't even get me, but it was kind of, the first time I watched it was kind of creepy, is when the babysitter's in the closet with that girl, and she has a bullet hole in her head.
gross.
And she's like, put your finger in my head. I mean, in all honesty, if you're really high, like, she smoked pot, if it was really, really good weed, she'd be like, oh my god, it's fucking hole. And she wouldn't even have to put her finger in her head, she'd just do it on her eyes, like, squishy. You know, it's just, I mean, but that was a recreation of the original scene, which nothing happened in the closet.
Yeah. 4 scenes I really liked from this movie. I like that scene because that was probably, if you were going to call one scene scary, that was still not scary. The scene where Ryan Reynolds is chopping the wood and he's starting to turn evil or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's chopping the wood. He's like, "Put your goddamn
That was
hands
a
on
good-
that
that
thing." And
was a
he's
good
like,
scene.
"I don't want to." He's like, he grabs it. He's like, "Fun."
That's what friends do.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's actually kind of scary there.
But if he had done that to you, like, I'm not your fucking friend. That's just not what friends do. Let's play a video game.
Make the bad man stop.
Make some popcorn and play.
But yeah, and then I liked where the one scene when he goes finally, and we're skipping ahead, but when he finally goes into the cellar, which isn't in the first one, he starts to see all those demons in their cages. It was like, what is this, 13 ghosts? But anyways, the one scene, it was gross. Like, just the effects were good. That guy takes that stick and, like, cuts his own mouth open, and the blood's. I was like, good.
You know,
that was gross.
They're supposed to be Native Americans.
Yeah.
So I mean,
He looked like Gollum.
But I did like that. I did like that. They was my precious. I did like that they gave a little bit more of a backstory about what was under the house and what's driving this evil force. Even though I thought it was kind of tacky, and it really made no sense overall in the movie because it was just. Like I said, this movie is it's not the Amityville Horror.
No.
It's not based on anything. It's just a different movie with the same name.
Yeah, and there's no way they could capture the creepiest of the original.
But I
because
would
it was
say-
just like, it wasn't even scary
What
itself,
was
but it
your
just had
fourth?
this creepy feel to it. The fourth one was also just a special effects thing. When
Oh,
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds is in the bathtub and it starts ripping his skin apart.
Oh, that was badass.
That was nasty looking, and his acting was perfect in that part because that's exactly how you'd be. You're like, oh god! Like he was freaked the fuck out.
I mean, it would be that you show the water. I think brown poopiness would start rising. But yeah, so I mean that was one thing. I'm glad you brought that up because if anything, this movie had great special effects. Like, as far as makeup effects, they did a really good job with that. As far as getting you like the horror part of it, because or gory parts, like when Ryan Reynolds would dream and shit, and he was like he went downstairs and he sees himself laying on this big concrete slab and half his back is like stripped off, and he's like,
nasty.
Collect them and kill them or something like that. I was like, damn man, that's fucking gross.
And the scene where he's like dreaming and the shotgun, he flips the shotgun and blows his head off. That was kind of badass.
So there was like every once in a while there'd be like a couple scenes that they did with also special effects that kind of got you a little bit. I don't like herky jerky bullshit. I don't like that stuff. It just makes me feel weird. But when the mother's in the kitchen and she turns around, I think it was right after the scene where the refrigerator says catch him and kill him. Yeah. Like it moves like that, and then she looks around. You see this little ghost figure running through the house. It's like, yeah. I was like, that's okay. That's okay. No, but I will say one more thing about Ryan Reynolds. His transformation, as far as comedy funny man into this, it was phenomenal. Like I just never would have thought that he would be this good of an actor as far as this serious of a role goes. But the only thing is sometimes his face, I don't know if it's his face or the way he delivers lines, it would just come off as funny.
It's almost like the first one.
Yeah, you know? it was just, I don't know. Well, yeah, with the first one, like that's another thing. Ryan Reynolds in this is an asshole. Like he's meant to be an asshole, and you see he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But in the first, and I think he does a better job of making you hate him, but more than James Brolin in the original, because James Brolin just seemed like a nice guy, and he just I can't hate him. I mean, he had a beard. He looked like the Jolly Green Giant guy. I don't know. I was just like, let's go run in the forest, something like that.
Well, and then the makeup effects on the original were better on him because they sort of skim like deteriorating stuff. Yeah. Whereas Ryan Reynolds, they were like, we can't mess up that beautiful face, so let's just give him dark eyes. Like they took his eyes and like blackened them, and that was a cool effect. Yeah. But they still didn't do a very good job with his face.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, he didn't look sick. He didn't look sickish at all. Like James Brolin looks sick. Like as time goes on, he's actually getting more and more sick as it goes. And Ryan Reynolds he's still obviously going to the gym and working out. So.
And there's still some bad, awkward parts in it. Like in the original, like the sex scene again is awkward.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds is sitting there and she's on top and he's like, oh. You know? And then when they're having the dinner together and he's like, let me tell you something. He's like, I love you. Like, I'm not going anywhere. He looks like angry. My wife was watching it. She's like, why is he saying so fucking angry? I'd be scared. I was like, I know. But there's like awkward little like funny moments like that in it. But for the most part, Ryan Reynolds, I thought, did a bang up job. Like when he goes full on evil and he's like, because Ryan Reynolds, I mean, you got to give him credit. When he does like a dramatic role, he goes fucking balls deep. Like he goes all out. Yeah. And he always looks like, I mean, his fucking, you see his neck muscles going. He's like pissed off and he's like screaming at people.
He said balls deep.
But he does it. I thought he did a great job in it. I don't want to say he was scary, but he did an awesome job when he became like the angry, violent person.
He brought the intensity that Freddy needed. But the only thing I love the scene at the end, like where he really comes all out, to show, all his craziness in all of its glory. But the thing I don't like about that scene, the last like 20 or 25 minutes, it's straight on The Shining ripoff. I mean, it's the same thing. He's running through the house, killing his family, which had never happened in the original. He's got an axe. She knocks him out because she's like, nobody's gonna die here. And by the way, that bitch had a gun to his head and she was gonna chop her son up. And he's like, I can't do it. I'm like, he's gonna kill your son. You might want to blow his head off. And then like she knocks him out and then drags him to the boat. That's exactly what happened to Jack Torrance. Remember when they dragged him to the cooler?
Yeah,
it was exactly the same scene.
Yeah, they totally just took the Annabelle. He was like, the director was like, I don't know what to do with this fucking book. But
he probably just took the script like this. He wipes his own ass with the script.
So some people want to be
You're a rebel.
They didn't do anything like right as far as the book and stuff goes for the most part. I mean, other than the fact that they moved in a house and it was haunted, it was cold inside, But at the same time, and then they tried to like force feed you the priest in there. He's a good actor. They should have used him more.
I don't know what happened that part.
But in the original, like, oh God, I'm going blind and all that shit like that. And this one, they were just like, get in there, get out, we're done with you.
Well, the thing I don't understand also about the preacher is like, I do understand what they were doing with him. They just wanted to have, like you said, they force fed him in there just because he's a character in the book and he was a character in the original, so let's have him in there.
Yeah.
The thing is, in the original movie, they had this creepy atmosphere going on, and when the priest was in there, the music would just stop. Like when the flies were coming, which I never really thought that was scary anyway, but when the flies are in there and he's like doing all this, he's getting sick or whatever, like he's gonna pass out because he's hungover. But the music stops and then the door creeps open and there's no music. It's just like, and then you're like, oh my God, it kind of gave you that fucking scary feeling, and then that's when you hear that, get out.
Yeah.
But in this one, the music's really high. It's really like this fucking,
That's the thing, you can't, with these reboots and stuff, you can't replace that eerie feel that these old movies had. Because even when you watch them on Blu-ray, it's just like so cheap looking, and it makes it realistic kind of in a weird.
But I will say, as Ryan Reynolds, for being able to adapt and change to make a role like this successful for him, he did a good job. But as far as like who's the better, George Lutz, I like James Brolin better because I think his craziness was more understated and it was better because like he like the one scene I keep going back to that scene in the original one, and I didn't feel that in this one in the remake is that scene when he's sitting there and he's like saying I'm coming apart, like he's he grabs his hair and he comes because you could like I can understand, I can relate. It's like a real thing. Like if that really was happening to you and all this crazy shit and you did that, like you would just come out in 1 second and realize what's happening to you.
That's true.
Because Ryan Reynolds is a good actor, but he's just like he never really did that. He never really had a moment like a human element to it. He was just always like, "When did you get so fucking stupid?" They were just like,
those lines were funny. Like, when he started to get angry at people, like the babysitter, he's like, I'm telling the kids, like, I'm telling you, stop trying this house, and he's like, the babysitters told us, and he was like, babysitters, goddamn idiots. Like that shit was just unintentionally hilarious.
I like it, but I mean, even like I guess like we said, is maybe how he delivers his line that was funny. I mean, it wasn't meant to be funny. He's actually treating his wife like shit, and he's being an asshole. But it was just funny because of his face or something. But then that part when she was like, "We've got to get out of here. We've got to move." He's like, "You wanted this godforsaken house," and then she's like, "Our money is all right there." He's like, "Our money." I was just like, and then like when she's comforting your daughter, Hit Girl, and she's like, "You missed your daddy." It's like he's in heaven, and then Ryan Reynolds walks around the corner. He's got her teddy bear. He's like, "What the hell is wrong with all of you?" And then he just walks away and he's like, "Wacko family." I was like, it's just, I don't know, it's just corny, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I can see that too. But the little girl, man, Chloe Grace Moretz or whatever, I think I'm saying her name right. Even as a little girl, you could tell she has acting skills.
Yeah,
like, she was like, I just wanted to see Daddy. You're like, that was the best performance I've seen all day. Even though Ryan Reynolds was good in the movie, the wife wasn't as good as Margot Kidder. She was okay. She kind of had Miley Cyrus face.
Yeah, she needs. Why was her eyebrows black and her hair blonde?
I don't know. She looked weird, dude.
Go back to original.
She was hot, but she also kind of had Miley Cyrus face.
I never really thought she looked old enough to have that. I mean, the two little kids, like the boy and girl, made sense, but the 12-year-old.
And she was supposed to have a dead husband, a previous marriage, and 2 kids.
You getting busy?
No way, dude.
You getting busy in life. But yeah, so I mean, and obviously the models haven't been ticked off on her because she still looked good.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So like she didn't do a very good job. Margot Kidder did a better job at that, and I guess that's all. Really, overall, it's a cheap little horror movie. I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, I would recommend see the original. That's what I would recommend.
Well, I think they spent a lot of money on it, but I know what you mean by
special.
cheap.
The special effects are there. If you're wanting that, like a big special effects horror kind of movie, then you've got that. Especially if you like the Shining kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In it.
I'll say this: of the shitty remakes of classic horror movies, other than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because I actually like to remake that, this one bothers me the least. I mean, when you're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, fucking atrocious, things like that, this one actually bothers me the least because it's not a scary movie, it's not a good movie, but it's an easy movie to watch.
Yeah, I never. Well, the biggest, I guess maybe I never even got scared.
No,
I know. Maybe that was because I'm so familiar with how Ryan Reynolds normally is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was the main character, and when the camera's following around, I'm like, oh, it's Ryan Reynolds. I mean, when's he gonna poop into somebody's cup? I mean, it was just like like when he walks into the children's bedroom and he sees himself and he goes, and he blows his head off.
Yeah.
It just didn't. I was like,
I don't know. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, I take him seriously as an actor. I think he's a really good dramatic actor. He just picks shitty roles, I think. But back then, when he first watched this movie, this was one of the first serious roles he'd done. So I could see that. Well, yeah, no. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I mean, it's as far as a remake of the original, it's complete dog shit. It doesn't compare. It's nothing like that. But I really like Ryan Reynolds. I like watching his character throughout this movie, and I thought the kids were even decent. I thought the acting was all right, and it's got really cool special effects. It's just an easy horror movie to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 5.0. It's average. I mean, it's like right on the average movie. I mean, like I said, if you like that kind of stuff, if you want a little bit more special effects than your tea, I get it. You want to watch the movie like this, it's got a little Shining stuff too. That's fine. I would recommend the Amityville, the original, because I think the acting's better. I think it's more solid. I think it gives you a better story and a better creepy movie. But this movie is more of a popcorn movie, I guess. I mean, Ryan Reynolds isn't bad at any means. The woman could have been better. The little kids are okay. The special effects are sometimes overdone, but they're still useful. But but sometimes how they utilized it just was too much.
It's not.
That might have been what it was. Maybe they just used too much shit. The special effects, and sometimes they just didn't use it effectively. It just kind of left you like war torn. You're like,
it was just none of it was scary. That bottom line.
And that was just that atmosphere. They missed out on the atmosphere.
They're throwing out all this money and throwing out all this money and throwing out all these special effects, and it's not scary. So it's like.
It's how you shoot it, I guess, and how you wrap it all up, because the atmosphere is what's going to build that scare part of it.
It looks and feels like what it is. It's a cheesy remake to a classic horror movie.
Yeah, and it's not even. But that's the only shitty thing. It's not really even the remake because it's such a different movie.
Yeah, that's true. But I do like the fact that they didn't just open up the hole in the bottom and it was just some red cellar with his own face staring back. I like that.
That was
the creatures thing. I would have done it different, but I'm glad they did something.
Yeah, that was all right. But that guy, the priest demon thing in the bottom, looked like the Jeepers Creeper guy. Where'd you get them peepers?
Instead of being Ryan Reynolds, like, where'd you get those abs? So yeah, question of the day is: if you were in Ryan Reynolds' position, if you were in Ryan Reynolds' position and you were having sex with Melissa George in the bed, and
I would be like, when are you gonna change your airbag?
and a creepy little devil girl's hanging behind her, and it like freaks you out, but it's gone for a second. Would you finish?
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
I'd have to. I would get pissed afterwards. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so...
what would you do? I mean, I guess, because, you know what? Your brain's not even functioning right anyway, because all the blood's gone somewhere else.
That's
so
true.
you're kind of like out in the zone. So when you see shit that's happening around you when you're having sex, you kind of don't care at the moment. You just kind of like,
I'll just close my eyes.
yeah, it's like, just take me a bud so I can fly far in this vagina.
So, real question of the day, guys, is what do you guys think about the remake to this? I mean, you can answer that question too. It'd be fun. But for the ladies, what did you guys think about the remake to this? What did you think about Ryan Reynolds' performance? Because you think he would be good in another horror movie, or do you think it's just dog shit and you hate it?
I'd do another one.
I would too.
I don't know why.
So, until next time, I'm Mike, he's Jay. We'll see you next time on
P90X is for champions.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.